Okay, who are you and where are you from?
I'm Jacob Lutz, originally from Rio Rancho, New Mexico, and I live in the United Kingdom right now with my wife today, who's not here.
And what do you do?
I'm in the Space Force.
And yourself?
I am Matthew Lutz, and I live in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, and I am a high school art teacher.
Oh, are you from New Mexico?
I am originally from Indiana.
All right. And so you both have COVID stories. Go, whoever wants to go first.
My COVID story is trying to teach students online and teach them in the classroom now simultaneously. It's a great challenge to try to do things at the same time, and also make sure that the kids are still staying connected that are home, and then prepare the kids that are in the classroom. And overall, I would say some are doing extremely well, and others are failing miserably because it doesn't work for them.
What age group is this?
High school, 9th through 12th grade.
And what do you teach?
I'm an art teacher.
I see. And have you had COVID, or any of the kids had COVID, or their parents? What is?
I've had some students with COVID. I haven't had any interaction with the kids that had COVID. I wouldn't know whether or not I've had COVID. I feel like that's symptoms, but it could have just been. I never got tested when I had symptoms.
And have you've been social distancing, and has it affected your holidays and
Oh yeah,
friendships even? Your
holidays for sure. Like my son got married, and that was shifted. My parents had their 50th anniversary, and that was definitely changed. Yeah.
And so has it affected your, say, feeling of well-being, happiness level in the last year? It's been a whole year of COVID.
I've enjoyed being home with my wife. So some aspects are awesome. I've got to spend more time with her, so that's been really good. I do. One thing that I don't like is how people we haven't been interacting well with each other as human beings. I'm seeing less and less personal just interaction, saying hello. People don't want to even say hello to you. I think it's awkward in a lot of ways. It's been difficult, and in other ways. It's been great. As I said, we've spent more time together, and that's been fantastic.
Have you been concentrating on your own art?
Yes, but a little bit of that is it's been difficult to kind of settle into a routine because we have constant shifts at work of what we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. We're all virtual, and then we're going to do hybrid, and so a lot of things are up in the air. So it was difficult to kind of get focused on a particular project and move forward with that. And it was difficult to get kids into a routine. Adolescents, they need a routine, and then I also think adults need a routine as well. So for my position, that has been a little bit of a challenge to get traction.
And what about yourself? Have you been distancing yourself and seeing less of family?
To an extent. My wife and I moved to the UK in August of last year. The military moved us, and during that time, being out in the UK for sure, things are a lot more locked down there than in a lot of parts of the United States, and so it's been very difficult for us to make any sort of really friends or acquaintances, I would say, like within the community. We both belong to a church network out there through our military connections, and so my wife has been able to, I'd say, network and make friends that way, and the same for myself. But in terms of making friends with like the locals, yeah, it's been really challenging.
And before I forget to ask, you mentioned church. Tomorrow's Easter.
Yeah.
Are you social distancing or going to any?
We do plan on going to the service. Yeah, so we plan on going to the service. Something that I believe in is that the Bible encourages Christians to gather together in fellowship, and that's really challenging when you have a society that says we need to not gather, we need to not be together. My personal belief is that's not how God designed humans to operate, and so in that church context of getting together with friends and that kind of thing, that's something that we've continued to do throughout this time.
That's why we're here in Texas, is because we're meeting in the middle. Yeah. He's training in Wichita right now.
Yeah, I'm meeting with my parents.
And we're meeting here to be able to be together tomorrow.
Fantastic. Has it affected your sense of well-being also? You're obviously close to your family.
Yeah. There's been times, especially when we first moved out to England, that was tough. I'd say, for several months, it definitely affected my wife because it was difficult for her to really get out and do anything. And at the moment, it made it harder for her to get a job, so she doesn't have a job. It disrupted her schooling, and so being stuck at home with not having a lot of options to get out and socialize or see England, because she'd never been there before, definitely been hard on the both of us, I think.
It's disruptive, so she had to stop her program.
Yeah, so COVID actually stopped her nursing halfway through. So.
Two final questions. One is, do you think the government has been handling it correctly? And then what do you think the future is for us all?
The government itself, I think it depends on what scenario. Definitely in the beginning, I think that it was good to be cautious. Okay, because none of us really knew what we were dealing with, right? And so I was willing to play along. But as things come out more and more, and we're finding that certain types of groups of people are having trouble with it, and other types of groups of people are not. I think in our state in particular, it's been a challenge to figure out how to get vaccines to the people who really need it. And so that I've struggled with. And I think that at the beginning, prior to COVID, I would listen to the news, whether it be the local news or NPR or whatever it is that we're listening to, and then I would assume that they were presenting the truth. But now I feel like there's a lot of spin. It's difficult to know who's telling me the truth and what their motivations are. And so I don't really like to be that place in life where I'm questioning everything. I don't like that. I want to be able to trust that you're telling me the truth as best as you possibly know it, and I want to tell my son the truth as best as I possibly know it. I don't necessarily want politics to be behind it, and I think it's getting really muddy right now.
How about yourself?
So what was your second question, sir?
Well, the future. Where are we going? Is this the new normal, or are we in for more of the same?
I sure hope not.
Or back to normal.
The military's been doing a lot of vaccinations. I got vaccinated fully this last month, and so I'm definitely hoping that as those roll out, we'll go back to seeing a lot more people just getting used to being back together again. I don't know. I think that's how society needs to work. So
we as people need to get back together. We need to connect with each other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are separating us from each other, and I think that doing meetings and stuff online like that, it's not as creative. You don't get the answers that you need. You don't come to conclusions as fast, and we need to be able to interact with people to be able to solve problems.
Yeah.
And I understand we don't want to get people sick. I know that the COVID is real. I think that even if you were to say the numbers of deaths, you cut that in half. Let's say some of them aren't actually COVID and the others are. There's still more people dying. There's something to this. So I'm not one of those deniers by any means. I think there's definitely something to this. And for the sake of other people, especially the people that are vulnerable, we need to be really careful.
We are at the Cadillac Ranch outside of Amarillo on the 3rd of April. There it is. Thank you again for all your help. Okay.
My views are not representative of the Air Force or the Space Force, so just need to say that.